Hi guys, Nathan here from UK Prepared. Just out on a little recce of a site, which I think I found a good spot, to be honest with you. The main feature that I'm looking for at the moment, one, water source, so I can always replenish my water for however long I'm planning on being in the field for. We're secluded, so we're in a low, like a basin, very sort of micro terrain wise. It's a very shallow basin. We've got here good cover from our rear, and then the ground comes uphill with another wood block to our front. Left, we've still got high ground on our other side, and then the ground gives way to our right. But we've also got good tree cover, dense as well. It's coniferous woodland, so nice secluded position. The main issue that I had in my mind at the time was obviously because there's a lot of moisture around here, there's a lot of water sources coming through here. Am I going to find somewhere that's decent enough to camp? But actually, the high ground behind me with the rhododendron in the back gives me good elevation away from the water source, but at the same time I've also got good positions to set up a basher as well, which is really good. And if I've got friends with me, I've also got multiple positions in this little area that I can do so. We're nice and far away from any footpaths, so noise wise it's not too bad. We've got the water as well, that can help mask some of the noises of just being around, treading around, general chit chat, a low decibel. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop the kettle on, chill out for a little bit and take in the environment. So I bought my B3 1 litre filter. I'm going to use that to make myself a nice cup of tea. What I tend to do, top tip as well with this, obviously the water is flowing from my left to the right. By doing that, if I make sure that I filter downstream, it will help hopefully mitigate as much of the bad stuff basically as possible out of there. The water's nice and crystal clear, so that should help me out massively. There's enough water in there for me, easily. And I'm just going to filter that in a second, back at the condition that I want to set up it. So we've had a rolling ball now for approximately 3 minutes, probably a bit longer because I walked off for a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is just check. I'm going to start making my tea, and then blow out the trangier and let that cool down, because obviously that needs a little bit of time before I can put it back in my pack. So take this off of here. These containers, by the way, by TBS are incredible. I've had this probably about 4 or 5 years now. I get to I clean it up pretty much every time I use it, but it's covered in soot. It's fantastic for boiling water or drinking out of. Once again, I can boil enough water. I can do half a litre at a time, so that's plenty. And at the same time, I can then eat out of it, drink out of it. So brilliant to use. You can go with my milk. Make sure to always take that rubbish away. I don't want to be leaving any ground sign for anyone else to know that I've been here. While I'm doing it, I'll leave it on the heat. For sure. That's all good. Tea bag. In it goes. These British ration tea bags are not the best, I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. They do a job. It's probably best if you're someone who's fussy with tea, which I normally am, which I tend to then pack my own, need be. Because it's easy to do. Put them in a Ziploc bag. You can just put a load of whatever you prefer, Yorkshire Golds or whatever's my go-to. I know Baz is a Yorkshire Gold man, and that is what I shall be using in future instead of relying on these bags. I'll leave that to sit in there for a bit. Let's take that off. There we go. And then take that one off to cool down. We've got to close the lid on that in a minute. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Like I say, I've managed to get out this weekend, which is fantastic. Just making the most of it, even for a few hours, is just a win for me. It cheers me up. Life during the week is very routine with work, gym, running, walking, etc. So nice to just switch off and do something a little bit different on a Saturday. While I'm waiting for the tea to boil, or the water to boil, this year for UK Prepared, our plan ahead is we're going to meet up, me, Baz and Lloyd, we're going to meet up next weekend, and we're going to have a big discussion about sort of finalising the plans that we've got already put ahead for 2026. We've got some fantastic courses that we're going to put across. So we're keeping you completely in the loop of where we're at. We are securing up a solid piece of land that we are able then to potentially put training packages across to at a small cost, a very small cost, because we are trying to do it for free so we can get as many people as prepared citizens as possible, because I understand, you know, cost is a big element for a lot of people, and I understand to a lot of people that if it's not to some people, you know, having the mindset like we do is not a must-have. But if we can try and keep the cost to a very minimal and educate a few people on the importance of, you know, potentially needing to know how to navigate without using your phone, first aid wherever you are, and having that mindset of knowing that you've always got a plan for what if. You know, if you're at Tesco's and someone hurts themselves, if you've broken down, how to deal with that. If the weather gets bad and you're caught out in it, how to deal with that. You know, everyday events that go on all the time that you've probably all come across, but how to, instead of hate it and struggle through it, maybe embrace it. I wouldn't say enjoy it, but deal with it and get home and not think, oh, that was an absolute nightmare. And that's just a small shift that we can hopefully try and teach you to keep your eyes peeled to those things and deal with in a better way. So the packages that we've got at the moment secured on our first course would be a weekend, so potentially turn up on a Friday and you'll be there till Sunday, like lunchtime, so you've still got the afternoon to sort of go home and chill. Location wise is not 100% yet, so we're just securing that last bit up, which is the conversation we need to have when we meet up next weekend. We have got a training package for the following, which is Fieldcraft, so that covers personal admin, setting up bashers, which covers tarpology, so using a basher or a tarp and how to use it and the multiple uses that you can do with that, why they're used. Then land navigation, from the basics all the way through, which I can cover in a fair, you know, in a day I can get you pretty much navigating around, which will be great. And then we're going to do water purification of different kinds. That's probably the first package that we'll put across. Where once you've got through that stage, if you're keen to want to learn a bit more, we've got a communication package we're going to put across, which will be covering how to use radios, understanding radios, the pros and cons of different radio systems, and then moving on into field first aids. That doesn't mean field like first aid just for the field. It will be covered by potentially, we're looking at, we've got someone who's linked with us who is a paramedic, so we're going to get them hopefully to do a package for us over a weekend where they can teach you everything from the emergency side of things to basic elements like dealing with basic cuts, head injuries, down to heart attacks, strokes, etc. So from the training that I've done through Threat 3, it will be a overview of that, to teach people what we see is cutting down what Threat 3 shows you, but the fundamentals that I feel like would be common that you'd find maybe if you're at the supermarket and someone's fallen over, maybe basics of a car incident, and then obviously the most serious, that if there was a situation such as an event, let's say in a city, that needs triaging, then you know how to triage and how to deal with that situation in terms of catastrophic situation. So that will be a great course. To make the courses more quality over quantity, we're going to put the training packages together in such a way that the first part of the training will be learning. Then the next stage will go into a scenario base, so then that will make it more realistic in the fact that obviously then we will be there guiding you to some extent, but you want to then be able to think for yourself and put that training into practice properly, with a little bit of stress there to make it a bit more realistic. The weekend nav courses, they're going to continue going on. So we're doing the social navs, they're brilliant. We've had great success in 2025 with that, and I think we're going to continue with that in 2026 for sure. I'm primarily running them down in the south in Sussex, but potentially we're going to start putting them further afield. Those will obviously be planned more in advance, because obviously we need to locate, do a recce on those areas to make sure those walks are definitely worthwhile for everyone. And yeah, make sure you do come on those if you can. They're great for the family. They are normally based around parking in a pub. We go for a walk for approximately 2 hours, and then we meet back up. You can either stop for a beer and a social with like-minded people that love being outdoors or want to get outdoors, or if you're busy, head on off. But the main thing for me is that we're going to put quality content across to you guys that is knowledge that you can retain nice and straightforward, and then we want to make sure that before we get back in our cars at the end of that event, I can tell that you walked away with some extra knowledge. Whether you can just orientate your map to north and you understand the layout of a map, that's a win for me, because if you came to me without that knowledge and you've walked away with that amount of knowledge, that's a win. Just make sure then potentially if you're seeing the pros of that, then come to another one so you can further that skill set, because it won't, for me personally, navigation is a huge advantage in life. I've been able to explore all over the place, and it is testing at times, but that's what makes it exciting. You can't, there's elements in the UK and all over the world where I've navved where you're going to come across areas that aren't actually on the map, and you're going to have to use your gut to get you out of that. But with all the training that I can put across to you, you'll easily get yourself out of that. And it's just repetition. It's about getting out there and practicing as much as possible. But on that note, I'm going to sit there and take in this environment, enjoy the chill and the relax, and I appreciate you sitting down watching these videos, and anyone who's following us, I really appreciate it. The more the better, please, because we want to get our name out here. We're doing it for a good cause, and we're going to try and make this year full of great content. Please provide us with feedback, positive and negative. Structural criticism is big on for me. I appreciate it, because that's the only way we're going to target the right audience and make sure we're hitting the right content out there and not wasting our time putting out wasteful content. But have a good day, have a good Saturday, have a good Sunday, and keep practicing that prepared mindset. We'll put content out to keep you reminding that mindset, and look forward to seeing you on the next course.